Welcome to another Acoustic Alternatives podcast. I'm John Bomarito, broadcasting from Grove Studios in Ypsilanti. Fantastic place. If you're looking for a place to rent, to do some practicing, maybe record a video or a podcast such as this, check out Grove Studios online, and very reasonable rates available 24/7 and a keypad operation that you can be at any time. And Al Bettis, my guest, might actually be using it for a future video. Hello, Al.
Yeah,
good to meet you.
How you doing? Good to meet you in person.
Yeah, we've been chatting online for a while now, and we never actually met. We've got lots of mutual friends. We were talking about our mutual friends before we went on here, but it's good to actually have you in front of me. And I loved what I heard during sound check. And in fact, before I even bother geting into any questions, sing for me, please, will you?
Sing a song?
What would you like to sing to start off with?
Well, you know what? The song that I'm gonna record on Sunday. You know, it's a live video. It's a newer song that I've written. It's called "Holding On," and it's like one of those little quiet, gentle songs that I like, and that's kind of like my style of writing. But it's about a relationship, and just kind of coming to that conclusion. I used to be like the head in the clouds kind of guy. I still am, actually. I can't lie. I'm like the notebook romantic type thing. But I'm realizing that there's a lot of work that goes into relationships, and this song is kind of just about, you know, I'm holding on to you and you're holding on to me, and that way we can kind of make it, you know, and sometimes you may hold a little tighter than I do, and maybe sometimes I'm picking up the slack. So it's kind of about that. So, we'll see if we can make that happen here.
Al Bettis unmasked in the Acoustic Alternatives studio with Grove Studios.
So this song is called "Holding On." Long drives, long nights, high tides, good vibes, and it all made sense from the moment we kissed. We talk and finish each other's sentences, and I never known true love till the day I met you. Love you. Give me something I've never had, and I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on to you. You keep on holding me too. Yeah. Holding on to you. You keep on holding me too. Yeah. Say now, we fight, then make up, argue, then make love. We smile, we frown, but the sun never goes down. We talk, we listen to each other's differences. You make it oh so easy, and now I can see that you give me something I've never had, and I'll keep holding on. I'll keep holding on to you. You keep on holding me too. Yeah. Holding on to you. You keep on holding me too. Say now, you give me something I've never had, and I'll keep holding on to you.
Sounds brand new and beautiful there from Al Bettis.
Thank you.
Acoustic Alternatives, soon to be a video recorded live at Grove, looks like anyway. Will that be with your trio?
That will be with a little more than the trio. It's me on guitar and vocals. There will be 2 background vocals. There will be keys present. There will be bass guitar and percussion.
Nice.
So it's pretty full. And actually, we were supposed to have a little electric guitar too. Adam Plumeritas was going to join us, but he's double booked.
So
yeah, so there'll be different versions, so this is just I like to do some live videos. It just kind of gives me that opportunity to feel like I'm performing live. Because just in the time period we're in, it's just kind of hard to get that feeling. So that's why I like doing that.
Well, I look forward to seeing it no matter what. And,
yeah.
You're a product of this very rich Detroit music scene, though a very late bloomer.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your journey before you started actually making music.
Oh man, before music. Before music was pretty much what you're told to do. You go to school, you get your diploma, then you go to college, you get your degree, and then you work. And in between all that and preceding that was a lot. I don't think I've had the typical upbringing. My a lot of the stuff that you hear is because of my childhood, really. So my mother, I was raised with my grandparents. First of all, my mother, she was a drug addict. She had a drug addiction, and I lost her when I was about 20 years old.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was kind of a really rough thing to happen. But kind of just you roll with the punches, right? My father, he actually he's doing really well now. He's a drug counselor, but prior to this, he actually went to prison. And so when I was about one and a half, my dad went to prison, and he was gone my entire childhood. Like I got to see him outside of the prison gates when I was getting ready to graduate high school.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a long time without him.
Yeah, it was a long time, and it's not. I don't want to be like the sad sack, but those things that happened in my life, they kind of brought me here. So those things happened. I was raised by my grandparents because the social services wanted to take me because of the situation I was in with my mother. So they raised me, and I loved my grandfather. I lost my grandfather early as well. I was probably about in the 7th grade. And that just left my grandmother. She was there. She raised me, and she got me almost all the way there. She passed away my senior year in high school. So I kind of, from the age of 17, man, I've just been kind of on this journey to find out who I am and why everything, happened the way it happened. And so when you say prior to music, there's a lot prior to music. We had to book this like 2 hours.
Quite a few bumps along the way.
It all, looking back on it now, I can see it. My stepmother, my dad's wife, she's also a counselor, and we were having a conversation, and she said, everything that the goals that you have are a result of your childhood. You want that loving family. Because you didn't have it. You want to be as involved in your daughter's life as you can be because you didn't have it. And so it's just all those things, and it's kind of what I write about. So
and you're an extremely well-adjusted individual considering the things you've been through.
You roll with the punches. You do what you can do. They leave a lot of bruises. They leave a lot of things that you have to deal with when you get older,
Well, not everybody comes out as strong as you did. So pat on the back from
right.
across the table. It's a pretty awesome story. Yeah. So then along the way, your love of music, which must have developed long before 30. I mean, you didn't just suddenly decide you loved music.
I was thinking about this today because I said, what will I talk about? Because we don't have any set questions, right?
No, of course not. It's a conversation.
Yeah. So for me, music, I've always loved music. And I typically do say that I started music at the age of 30. And then when I look back to today, preparing for this interview, I said, I really shouldn't say that because music has always been there. Like it's always been a love of mine. My earliest memory of music, my earliest memory involves music. It's like,
wow, what was that?
I remember sitting at a table in my mother's home, and there was rough times where we didn't have food, we didn't have electricity, we didn't have these things. And this morning, for some reason, the sun was shining so bright through the window in the kitchen. She was cooking something, and the radio was playing this song by the Clark sisters. And every time I hear that song, that memory is just right there. I could see myself sitting at that table looking out. And so every every like those childhood memories are like attached to like music. I remember walking on the east side of Detroit, and there was a blues store, and it had a speaker outside, and it just constantly bumped the blues. And I didn't know anything about the blues. I just know I liked it and it felt good. And my family members, they would play cards and they'd play the blues. And even earlier, my dad, having conversations with him, he says, when you were in your mother's womb, I played jazz to you. And I said, oh, okay. I was never a jazz, person per se. And the more that my journey in the music, it's like I'm sounding more and gravitating more towards this sound that's infused with jazz. But I used to sing as a kid, and I remember my mother's sister, my aunt, she would always ask me to sing a song. And so I'd sing something, and everybody wanted to be Michael Jackson, right? So, you're doing the dance moves and everything. And I remember getting to a certain age, and there was one memory. This lady said, I was sitting with my grandmother, and I was preparing for like a talent show, and I wanted to sing a song. And I don't even remember if I went through with it, but I remember walking over to this person, and I think she was a relative of ours. And I said, hey, I'm gonna sing, at this talent show. Would you like to hear it? And she looked at me and she said, I don't like to hear kids sing.
Very encouraging.
Just took the air out, right? So I just said, okay. So that made me feel bad. And then there was another memory where I think I was like trying to sing. There was like this when Tevin Campbell came out, he was on this album, and I think that I can't remember.
Graffiti Bridge.
Yes. Yeah. So
don't try to go past me.
So I was trying to, I was singing, and I had a really high pitched voice. So much so, like when my dad, he'd call home from where he was, and I'd say, hello. And he'd go, he said, man, what's, and so he said, somebody over there, hey, go check on my son. Is he okay? Like his voice is really high, And so we had, toughen him up now, one of those things. But I had this high voice, and I had someone make fun of me. They were like, you sound like Tevin Campbell, and
Tevin Campbell has a record contract to you.
Yeah, that would have been a good response. But at the time it was like, I don't sound like Tevin Campbell. My voice is lower, And I just eventually I never sung. I just never sung. I just locked it away. And it was years that went by, and I was I was on my 30th birthday. I had a guitar. I worked at Volkswagen as a IT tech, and there was a guy who he just came out one day. I think he was like in a server room or network room, and he said, I have a guitar that I want to sell. And I was like, I'll buy it. I don't know. So I bought this guitar, and I took a lesson, and it killed my fingers. And I was like, screw this. I'm not playing guitar. I put it back up, and I just sat it away. And I don't even know how long that thing sat. It was years, like a long time. And I was on my 30th birthday. I was bored. I was married at the time. My wife was gone. And I was just laying there on the couch. And I was like, I don't know. I'm bored. And I worked at Chrysler, and we were on shutdown. Mm-hmm. So I had nothing to do. So I was just sitting there. And I said, let me go get this guitar. Like, I'm just going to go get it. And I grabbed the guitar, and I wrote a song, like with those two chords that I knew, whatever. It was like E minor and whatever else I could do two fingers with, And it was just literally me going back and forth with those, two chords, just doing something. And at the time I was involved in church, and there's a whole spiritual thing that I think took place before this, where we would fast every week, like one day. And I was fasting, and I was doing spoken word. I thought, all right, because that's what I wanted to use the guitar for. I wanted to mix it with some like spoken word.
Gil Scott-Heron stuff.
Yeah, I thought that would be cool. So I was writing all these poems, right? I got my heart broken, and so I started writing poetry. And so I was writing all these poems, and all of a sudden those poems just start transitioning. And I had this guy, it's going to sound crazy, but I had this conversation with this God that I know, and I said, you're turning these into songs, but I can't play an instrument. What am I going to do with a song? So I would start these poems, and it would have the cadence of a poem, and then I would sing like a chorus. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this stuff. And later on, not too long from that point, I started writing songs, and I've never stopped. But it's also been the moment of my greatest challenge. My greatest challenges came when I picked up a guitar, because that anxiety, I thought like, oh, at first I was excited, and I went to my pastor and I said, I wrote this song. You're not going to believe it. And he was like, okay, let me hear it. And my hands were shaking. They were shaking so much I couldn't play. And I couldn't get out a single note. I was trying my best and I just couldn't. And that day began the greatest fight that I've ever had to fight. So that is my story in a nutshell. There are many more chapters, many more, things, nuances, but yeah.
Bottom line is you got a gift. You were given a gift and you're using it.
I believe so, and it's challenging. It's challenging a lot, but it's also fun, and it's also rewarding. So
we'll talk about some of the cool things that have happened because of it. But how about another song?
Okay, yeah. Well, I think I'll do maybe this song called "Gray Skies."
Oh, I love this one. I was actually listening to this one on the way over. This is Bettis on Acoustic Alternatives.
"Gray Skies" is a song that I wrote after my divorce. I was married for 10 years, and again, I never saw divorce in my future. I wanted to. Why we get married? Yeah. I wanted to, and the church always told me God hates divorce, and don't do it. But we did. And after 10 years and one daughter, and I entered this period of, I don't want to say depression or anything like that, even though it was a little present. It was a lot of reflecting, and there's something that happens in that time period where you start thinking, oh man, maybe I'm never going to really find that thing that I'm looking for, and Gray Skies is kind of about finding that thing you're looking for in the middle of the trials or after the trials, So people say, why is it called Gray Skies? And it should be like sunny days or something, but I don't know. Just went with it. So this is Gray Skies, and it goes like this. There's another cool song about story about Gray Skies after this, but it goes like this. Started with a smile, your soft eyes peeking through my soul. And though it feels like a while, he cautiously as this unfolds, 'cause it feels like heaven when I'm with you. Arms wrapped so tight I can tell when you breathe. Feel your heartbeat beating on me, and it seems like forever when you're away. So I thank my lucky stars for the day you came, and you wiped my tears away. And now that no more gray skies over my head, now the sun is breaking through, and it's all because of you. Now that no more gray skies over my head, now the sun is breaking through, and it's all because of you. Yeah. You don't have to say a word, lie next to me, let's drift away. It all feels like a blur, moving so fast, and we both pray that we can withstand the fray. But it feels like heaven when I'm with you. Arms wrapped so tight I can tell when you breathe. Feel your heartbeat beating on me, and it seems like forever when you're away. So I thank my lucky stars for the day you came, and you wiped my tears away. And now that no more gray skies over my head, now the sun is breaking through, and it's all because of you. Now that no more gray skies over my head, now the sun is breaking through, and it's all because of you. Yeah. I feel your heart pulling on me. Yeah. Just like a puppet, you hold the strings. Yeah. I am all yours. Do what you want with me. 'Cause when I'm with you, I see things clearly. And I'm better when you're near me. No more gray skies over my head now. The sun is breaking through, and it's all because of you. Now there are no more gray skies over my head now. The sun is breaking through, and it's all because of you. There's no more gray skies over my head now. The sun is breaking through, and it's all because of you.
Great stuff from Al Bettis. You can find that on his debut EP that came out in 2019, The Listening Sessions, and that's the lead track on there. And so glad you played that one. So what's the rest of the story on that one?
Oh man, gray skies. Gray skies. So I went to NAMM. Mm-hmm. My friend, he talks me into going to NAMM, and he was like, it's going to be the greatest thing that ever happened to you. I feel it. I said, okay. So we went out to California. It was my percussionist, actually. So we went out to California, and Jarrell paid for me and everything because I was like in this transitional period. And I get out there, and NAMM is like superstars everywhere. Everybody can play. Everybody can sing. Everybody can do whatever to the top level, right?
It's National Association
Music. I can't remember that last.
Yeah. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. So I mean, it's nothing. You could see John Mayer walking past. You could see whoever. And there's like these. I don't want to use this term. Hot doggers, right? They know what they're doing. They go out there and they're like, I'm gonna get an endorsement with that company, right. And so they'll play. I mean, just flashy circles, right? That's never been my MO. I think I kind of emote, and if I can connect with you with the song, that's what happens. There's nothing flashy that's really happening with what I'm doing, and needless to say, it was like for self-confidence, a boom, right? And so we come home from LA and nothing amazing happened, nothing at all. So he says, hey, NAMM, this summer we're going. I said, I don't think it's for me. And we went anyway. My bass player, he can do that. This guy he knows music theory. He knows, without even knowing it, right? And he can just play with anybody. As soon as we get there to NAMM in the summer in Nashville, he just grabs a bass, goes to town, and the company says, we're going to give you an endorsement. We were only there for like 10 minutes. So, while I'm happy for him, I'm like right back where I was in LA. I'm like, where do I fit in into, God, you gave me this gift, right? I believe you gave it to me, but why can't I connect with, anybody, the way that I want to, the way I see other people, right? And so I'm walking around, I left there, and I'm walking around NAMM, and I'm watching the singer-songwriters playing the guitar. I'm listening to the songs. And I work my way up to Taylor Guitars. This is the guitar I have right now is a Taylor guitar. That's beautiful. So, this is the GT Ash. It's like a new model here. So I walk my way up to Taylor Guitars, and that didn't make me feel any better. There's like guitarists everywhere. And actually at the time, they're following some guy around with a camera. And I'm like, oh, he must be famous, So they're like following him around. He's picking up guitars and talking. And so I grabbed a guitar off the shelf, because I have a 7 series at home. So I grabbed their new model, that was like a 7 series. So I sat down and I started playing Gray Skies. I was just playing it, and I was sitting in my own little corner, and I just start singing the song. And as I'm doing that, in walks my percussionist and my bass player, and they're like, hey, we can hear you all the way down the hall. And I was like, how? And I was like, man, these acoustics in here are just great, right? And as I'm playing the song, I just start singing, over my head now, the sun's breaking through. And the guy with the camera pans around. And then, so I know enough to know when an opportunity is there. So I said, keep playing. So I kept playing the song, and I'm singing it. And he recorded the whole song. And then he sat down with me and he interviewed me, and he said, hey, I'm from Taylor Guitar. I'm one of the reps, or I work with them. And his name was Gabriel. he said, can I put this on the Taylor Guitar site? I said, sure. So they put it on their blog site, and all these people start commenting, who is this guy? That's a great song. And it turned into some kind of a relationship with Taylor Guitar. I'm not an endorsed, artist, but like this is their brand new model, and this is something they just sent to me, and it was like right on time. I was like, sweet, because I need to put my other one in the shop. So, so that's that story of Gray Skies, like this random time where I just felt like crap. Like I didn't fit, and I'm in the guitar mecca where everybody can play guitar, circles around me, and sing. There was one guy there sound just like Chris Stapleton, no lie. But this opportunity, like God just dropped it there. Like I didn't know, like there was no audible voice that said pick up the guitar and play Gray Skies. It was just like, I don't know what ordered those steps, right? They talk about that, but my steps walked all the way from this other area up the steps into Taylor Guitar at the right time to start building a relationship with this huge guitar company.
That's cool.
So I ended up doing they have a song called I Know What Love Is. And I ended up like singing like on the backgrounds. There's a ton of artists though. There's like 50, 60 artists. And Jason Mraz, KT Turnstile, Zach Brown are some of the major names. And it's like a song for COVID, like artist relief. And I got to be on this song. And like one of my like huge like people that I look up to in terms of music when I first started playing was Jason Mraz.
Nice.
And so I'm like, oh my God, so you just never know. I don't even know why. Maybe somebody's listening to this and I don't know, they'll say they might be wanting to give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
That's a great story.
Yeah. So I wanted to tell that. I didn't mean to tell that, but yeah.
Well, that's good.
So,
You'd have gotten there eventually anyway.
Yeah.
I want to back up just a little bit to that late start of yours. And I think I was giving that some thought. Mm-hmm. There's an advantage to you being a late starter and having the wisdom of way more music behind you than most people who pick up the guitar at 16 and start trying to write songs. You got 30 years of absorbing great music from all over the world before you started writing serious songs.
I've never looked at it that way. I've always looked at it like it was a handicap. Like, why didn't you start me earlier? Because during all that time when I had nothing to do, I would have been playing and working out my chops, when I talk to guitarists like Adam, and it'll be sick. I'll say, how did you do that? And then he'll say, well, man, just keep practicing. I've been playing since I was like 7 or something. Right. I'm like, holy man. Or like, Trey Simon, awesome, right? And I'm like, how did you do that? He's like, man, I've been playing forever. I've been through all this. So sometimes I feel like it's a handicap. And that's the first time that I honestly can say that I looked at it differently when you just said that.
Well, think about it though. At 16, what had you absorbed musically? Not a lot, right?
Not a lot. None of the stuff that inspires me.
Jason Mraz wasn't around when you were 16.
None of the stuff that inspired me. No.
Right. So, I mean, that's one way to look at it. Your website name checks some pretty cool names. Jason's in there. You got Ed Sheeran, who certainly has got a distinct guitar style. But then Otis Redding and Al Green, which is probably more what you were hearing growing up.
I was hearing that growing up, and even deeper blues. My grandmother had an 8-track. I'd be popping in Muddy Waters and B.B. King. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have your own distinct sound. I suppose if somebody wanted to classify it, neo soul is probably the tag they would throw at you. I don't know, maybe.
No idea.
It's just you.
Yeah, it's just me. I do think that there is, if you had to, I don't know if it's a genre, but there is like a circle that I see that is intersect, like little bit of jazz, little bit of neo soul, little bit of Americana, little bit of like, it's like this circle, and I'm crossing a little bit into all of that. And I think I sound one way when you hear me alone, and then when you hear my percussionists, playing these African themed, rhythms, and then you hear my bass guitarist playing clearly like this. He's from a church background, so there's like that church vibe and that soul there, and that jazz, and then the keys player is straight jazz. He is just, so it just comes together and it makes something. I don't know what that is.
It's nice. I like your sound. That's why you're here, because I like your sound. I want people to hear it. So check out the CD or find it online as your own favorite way of listening to music.
And listening sessions.
What did you want to be as a kid? I mean, if this wasn't your goal as a 16-year-old, back to 16-year-old you, what did you want to be?
Kids want to be so many different things, but the one notable thing, I wanted to be a track star.
Really?
Yeah, I fell in love with track and field when I was young, and I ran through high school.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal was to get a scholarship and get my way down south. I wanted to run for TSU, and that didn't happen. I was fairly decent at running track, but I ran into the same problem that I run into with music, and it's in my mind. There's like this constant battle of you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that. It was the same thing that causes anxiety when I'm playing the strings is the same thing that caused anxiety when I was on that starting line. Mm-hmm. And I'm just now seeing the correlation between that and going, okay, all right, how do I break that? I've gotten to the point where I can play, and you may not notice that I'm nervous, but I want to get to a place where I'm free, where I'm free to really just absorb what's going on and express myself, which I haven't quite got there yet. It's a learning path, just keep taking steps and
you're on a journey.
Yeah.
Journey's not over yet.
I did a show at the Soundboard. I got to open for Michael McDonald.
You're leading me into my next question.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was going to ask you about some highlights from your career other than the Nashville NAMM sessions. So this is one of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is one of them. He was playing guitar at the time, and I had always saw him behind the keys, and the guy was so humble too. I mean, when he first walked up to, he was like in casual clothes, and he was doing a sound check, and I almost like looked right past him because he was that
regular guy,
regular, and he stopped. Hey, how you doing? And I was like, hey, that was Michael McDonald, wasn't it? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh.
Speaking voice is very different than a singing voice.
Yeah. So I remember asking a question about the guitar, and he said, he just picked up music knowledge as he went along from other artists. And, that's again, that handicap. I always go, man, I'm 30 right now. When I started, I'm 42 now. I'm going to be 43. And I'm like, man, I got to get around some artists then real soon so I can start picking up some stuff because I'm getting older, But that was just a really cool experience just to talk to someone and hear that little piece of information that, hey, you're constantly growing. You'll pick something up here, you'll pick something up there. And it's just a lifelong journey, I guess.
How did his audience respond to you at Soundboard when you did that show?
It was really cool. Like, yeah. So I had opened up with I think it was like a version of I opened up with sitting in the morning sun. Like that. And the crowd just went, ah, and I was like, oh, and I remember looking back at my trio. We're on this huge stage and it's just us three. And I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy.
You hit their sweet spot right off the bat.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. And it led into another opening for Dionne Warwick.
I was going to ask about that.
That audience, they bought so much merch at that one. Great. That was really cool. And I think the big highlight from that show, I was scared to talk to Dionne. So I was just terrified. So when she did her sound check, I just moved over to the side and I let her go and pass my bass guitarist. He was like, nope, I got to get a picture. And I was like, don't take a picture with Dionne. And he was like, nope. And so she did. She took the picture. And then when she was doing her show, I was selling merch. And there was a guy selling her merch, like in the actual booth, because we don't get those booths. We like get a table. And so he said, hey, come here. And I walked over there and he said, hey, I have been with Dionne for I can't remember how many years. And he said that I could truly say that I've only like really, really enjoyed a few of the acts that opened for her. And he said, you're one of them. And I was just like, what?
High five.
I was like, what? I was blown away. So that was the highlight from that show. That was just like amazing,
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was so cool. And so you say other highlights.
Both of those gigs led to you being on Detroit morning television shows.
Both.
That's got to be
those are all highlights. Yeah, both. They definitely led to opportunities on Channel 4. Oh, there's one cool one that I love. This I don't know if it's on YouTube or if it's on my page, but there I'm singing this song called uh oh god, it's like it's on that CD. It's I can't think of it right now. But anyway, I'm singing this.
Your CD?
Yeah. It's
Here
on
you
this
go.
CD.
Here, let me help you.
It is "See You Again."
Okay.
I'm playing "See You Again" at the Ann Arbor.
Folk festival? No, you didn't.
It was the Ann Arbor. It was the Ann Arbor Festival. It was the
Summer festival.
Yeah, and there was like a Channel 7, I think, or Channel 2, one of the two, and they needed an interview. So I got an opportunity to do this interview, which I was elated about. And so I started playing, and it's like they don't have mics like this stuff out there, so I'm like trying to play as loud as I can. And I start singing this song. It's like a love ballad, and I didn't know what happened. And then I get home and I see the clip, and basically they're showing me playing this song. It's called "See You Again," and then it fades to the anchors, and the anchors are like, one of the anchors is like on the table like this. She said, "Oh my god!" And I was just like, "Wow!" I was like, "That was definitely a highlight." Yeah,
I saw that video actually. I was watching
Yeah.
that. I was just watching everything that was on your website in the last week or so.
that was definitely a highlight. I
Her
love
reaction was very dreamy.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
It was
God.
like, yeah. I was like, oh wow.
Captured her heart with that little moment.
Yeah, so those are some highlights, and then there are smaller. I don't even want to call them smaller, but there are other things. Like I have the musical mentor. His name is Leon Timbo, and when I first started playing music, I was in church, and so I feel like I don't know if I'm an artist yet that can sit down with an agenda that can say I'm gonna write an album and I want to write about love songs, or I want to write about family, or I want to write about what's going on today. I've never done that. Like the songs that I write are almost like given to me. Like I don't know. It's a weird kind of exchange, but I say all that to say, like I when I first started playing, I was playing like these more Christian type songs because that's where my heart was. That's what I was absorbed in. So that's what was really overflowing for me. And I would look on YouTube and different places, and I never saw any black artists playing an acoustic guitar. It was always an electric guitar or bass or the organ or keys. And I saw this guy named Leon Timbo playing an acoustic guitar, and it was just like me, and his music even felt like mine. And I was like, wow. And so I didn't know him. I was just sending him messages. I found him on Facebook, and I would send messages. Hey, check this out. No response. Hey, check this out. No response. And I just do that. And then it turned out that we had a friend in common who at the same time, while I was sending him these messages, she was going behind my back and not even telling me and saying, hey, there's this guy in Detroit that I really want you to meet. You two are kind of similar. And finally we met, and it was like, boom, it was like brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that's a highlight, just being around somebody like that. And there was another guy named Chuck Toko that was here. He was a Christian artist, and we both were on the Light 103.5.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. So it was like these weird, some people would call them coincidences, but they really weren't. It was just like my steps walking up to Taylor guitar. It's just this odd thing. I refer to myself jokingly as like the Forrest Gump of music. Like it just kind of stumbled into it, I guess.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I would love to hear another song.
Okay. All right.
What would you like to do?
Well, for a while I was kind of known for some heavy. I'll call them heavy instead of sad. It was like these because it's always about my heart and what I'm dealing with, and it's just now that I got to a place where I can go through a heavy period and find the joy in it and write about that instead. But this song is it's just about, again, relationships, and when you're with someone and they can't make their mind up, or and you just feel like you're being crushed, and then all of a sudden you're just numb. You don't feel love for them anymore. You don't feel anything for them anymore. You're just numb. And so that's what this song is about. Like a knife to the heart. It's tearing me apart. I can't take your indecisiveness no more. And I can't do right to save my life, caught between a rock and a hard place. But I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel it anymore. Just don't feel it anymore. And I couldn't bite my tongue. Now there's nowhere to run. Argue just to try to save face. Yeah. Heard a slam from the door. Now I'm pacing the floor, trying not to throw it all away. But I don't feel it anymore. Just don't feel it anymore. Yeah. I don't feel it anymore. No. Just don't feel it anymore. Say, yeah. Now I'm texting your phone, begging you to come home. It's been at least 2 days since I heard. Must be some strong love of his to make you treat me like this. Struck a match, then watch me as I burned. But I don't feel it anymore. Just don't feel it anymore. I don't feel it anymore. Just don't feel it anymore. That's numb.
I say this from time to time about music, and that one qualifies for sure. Some songs you hear and some songs you feel. That one, oh man,
Yeah.
How do you sing that? Because that's got to be painful memories for you.
Yeah, you know what?
Or have you
No.
distance yourself from it?
Yeah. There used to be a time where there's still some songs that'll sweep me up like that, but yeah, for the most part, I'm thinking about it, but again, that's in the past. I used to use this reference where it's like the stars, right? I'm not a astronomer or anything, but like the light, from my understanding, the light that we see was generated thousands of years ago, or maybe even longer. So you're seeing the energy from something that took place a long time ago. And that's what like music is for me sometimes. Like this took place a while ago, and you're just now seeing it now, you know?
Yeah.
And so sometimes because of that, it's like I can play something that's heavy and not get swept up, too much by it, because it's like I'm healed from it almost, or the song kind of just, like you said, let me step back from it. So yeah.
Nice. Well, this has been a really interesting 12 months for most of us, but one of the highlights of the last 3 months for me was some of the live music I've got to experience online. And I got to say, I was really surprised, first of all, that you were part of a John Prine tribute, but how well, like, you were one of the highlights of that whole thing. And I just wouldn't expect you to be a John Prine guy for some reason. So tell me about that.
That blew me away. So first, anytime the ARC asked me to do something, I'm like,
yes, please.
Yes, please. Yeah, that's just the way that it is. And it's that way because not just because what the ARC represents, because even though I'm an artist, I'm really disconnected from a lot of things that most artists know. Just because, like, when music happened for me, I was a dad, and I was kind of like, in learning about how to take care of a kid and going to work, and so there's a lot about music that I don't know right now, including some of the stuff that's in the culture, and so I didn't really know what the ARC represented, but I know how it made me feel. So there was a day I wanted to quit music. Happens a lot though. But this day I was set on it. I was like, it's done. I'm never doing it. I'm never doing music again. I'm not getting anywhere. And a friend of mine, I was working at this place called Bettis, and he said, "Hey, I want you to come with me to this concert at the Arc." And I said, "Well, who is it?" And he said, "It was Colin Hay."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Who's Colin Hay?" And he's like, the song "I Come from a Land Down Under." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well, am I really going to enjoy this concert?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yes, you will. You're going to laugh your butt off.
I didn't know much about Colin Hay, so I went to this concert. And first of all, the venue itself was just like amazing. I liked it. And I sat down. We were like second row on the right side. And I watched this guy with just a guitar. I mean, he had some other instruments up there at times, but he was a one man show, and he's playing these songs. And I was listening to his stories that he told. His stories were just as good as the songs, his delivery of them.
He's funny.
He's hilarious. He can switch it and give you something so heavy. There was a lady in front of me that was just crying when he was singing a song about like some girl who like died. He went to like, it was a love of his, and he went to like check on her or something like that, and she was gone. And this lady was crying, and I left that show and I said, I want to do that. I want to make people feel something like really intense, like when they're at a show. And that's when my love started with the Arc. And then the next thing, I got to do a show at the Arc. I opened up for Valerie June.
Oh, wow.
And that was amazing. Like, just that experience blew me away. Being in the green room, seeing all the people's signatures on the wall, that was like, I felt like I was a part of like something, like I'm a part of this thing that I've been loving all my life, this music, right? And so that's where the Arc came in. And now John Prine, I'll have to be honest, it wasn't until he passed that I learned about him. And once he passed, it was on CNN, and I was like, who's John Prine? So I looked it up, and I started seeing these videos and these songs, and I was blown away by his writing. I was just like, wow. And so when I got that invitation to do it, I knew exactly the song I wanted to do. I wanted to do Summer's End, because Summer's End, I didn't know what it was about. I just knew how it made me feel. And then to find out that he wrote it for a guy that lost his life to like narcotics, like it was an opioid, I believe, that he died from. And watching the video, it's just such a heavy video, and once I found out the history of it, I was like, I really want to do this song, because I lost my mother to heroin, heroin and HIV. So I had a tie there with that song, and which made me go down an even deeper rabbit hole, learning more about him and his tie to the Arc, and how he, pretty much did that free show way back in the day. It was just like, I was so happy to be a part of something like that. So,
you really captured that song too. You did such a great song.
I was so nervous about that song because I knew I couldn't do it like him.
You weren't supposed to.
Right. So but I didn't want to disrespect the song by doing it, too crazy from.
Well, there's no point in doing a cover if you're just going to do it the same way. For you.
So I tried to keep in that wheelhouse, but just make it me.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous about that song. I was like, I wanted to keep emailing the Arc over and over again. I know they were busy because it was a folk festival.
Yeah.
I was like, did you guys get it? Yeah, we got it. Okay, all right. Is it playing? Yeah, it's playing. Okay. Do you like it? The
response was really good. I saw a lot of people commenting.
It was a good response. Yeah, it was.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was a good story too.
Yeah.
All right. So I was told to ask you your opinion about the new Disney offering, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
You mean the series itself?
I
am over the moon about that. Like,
I don't even know what it is, so you gotta tell me.
Okay, so I wasn't a comic book guy growing up. So for me, everything that's happening is brand new, right? So when I first saw, I think it was Iron Man. I think Iron Man might have been and I was like, what? And then I'm a Marvel guy after that.
We like the Marvel one.
Yeah. So when this came out, I lost my mind. I was like, because I didn't even know it was happening. And then I looked up and it was on Disney Plus, so I didn't even have to wait for it. So I once I watched it, I was like, yes, Marvel is back. I was so excited about it. So yeah, I'm in love with that right now.
Now I need to go find that for the weekend.
Yeah, it's a good watch. It is.
Seems unlikely, but I'm also told to ask you about a Paula Abdul cover.
Yeah. It's been so long since I played that. It's a song called Straight Up. I wouldn't even remember how to play that right now, but I did my own version of that. I can't even remember the chords.
One of my previous guests, Olivia Deer, used to cover that one too.
Did
she did a
she?
little quick a cappella version of it with her boyfriend doing percussion.
In a dream, I don't know which way to go. Say if you were all that you seem, then maybe I'm moving way too slow. I've been a fool before, but I wouldn't want to. Oh, I can't remember the words now. Yeah. But I used to do that a lot, actually. Yeah, it was like to the point where when I did a show somewhere, they'd go, play straight up. Yeah. I actually did that at the Valerie June show, and I was so nervous to do that. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna respond, and they loved it.
maybe I just figured out what I need you to do. So, because as I was driving to come do this,
Yeah.
and I talked about this before we started today, but you, Adam Plumeritas, and Trey Simon together doing something as a trio, maybe a little covers EP,
Yeah,
including
that
you
would
guys
be
covering like the harmonies.
Yeah,
that would
be pretty cool.
The three voices together with the soulfulness of all
that
three.
Would be pretty cool. And oh man, you got all the guitar chops covered. All I got to do is hit my note at that point.
So when that happens, I just need a little thank you in the credits.
Yeah,
that's all I'm looking for. So this summer, I mean, we're probably going to have some shows to go to, right? What are your plans for outdoor shows this summer? Do you have anything?
I don't have any right now, but I'm
going to pursue them?
Yeah. Anything that comes up that I feel safe, I definitely want to do. You know, I've had my eyes on Sonic Lunch forever.
If it happens this year.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity right that same year. Was it last year? Mm-hmm. And man, when I got the email, I lost my mind, especially when I found out, and I don't even know if I could say it. When I found out who I was opening for, I was like, yeah. All right.
Well, the show got canceled anyway, but
it got canceled.
Who were you supposed to open for? Go ahead.
It was the War and Treaty.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, come on. Like I've been following them. Yeah. I was so excited to do that. And it didn't happen. So yeah. And then there was I had a jazz show, an hour jazz show put on by Comerica Bank at the library downtown Detroit. That was supposed to happen, and so that didn't happen. It was so many cool things, but yeah, I'm ready to do some outdoor things.
Backyard shows. Look into that, because I bet some people would book you for house concerts. If you threw it out there as an option. You should.
Yeah. So I've been kind of just trying to get back into the flow. I gotta admit, when COVID showed up on the scene, it sucked the air out of everything that I was doing. I was just worried about, surviving. I was worried about what's going to happen to my job. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my daughter? What's going to, it was so much. Sure. And my dad actually caught it, and that was terrifying, to watch him. I never seen him like that. He is, when he came home, I told you where, he was in prison. When he came home, he was this huge, like Superman type guy. He looked unreal. And, to see him in his 70s scared,
frail, I'm sure.
Yeah, he didn't want to say he was scared, but he couldn't even talk or respond. It was just like he wasn't even there, and he had lost he was so weak that he had to walk with a walker now, and he had to have help doing things that he never had to help. And I'm watching him through the phone because I can't be there, and I'm talking to him, Dad, and he's not responding. Dad, I need you to look at the camera. You can do this. And man, that scared the life out of me. And so dreams, music, that stuff was on the back burner. Sure. Like I couldn't dig into that and go, okay, this is my time to really practice. And no, it wasn't until I could breathe again. And that didn't happen for months, because I was just terrified. My fiance is a flight attendant, and I'm terrified for her, terrified for me and my family, because if she brings it back, It was so much to it, you know.
There's still a lot to it. We're
It's
getting
still
there.
a lot to it. Yeah. I mean,
I don't really want to do an interview with a mask on,
Yeah.
but I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Yep. So
thank you for joining me, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm really, I'm looking forward to the summer. There is a little sense of normalcy that I think we all feel.
Just a smidge.
Just enough to make us a little happier. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully some things come up.
Great. Well, keep in touch with me about that, and we'll see what we can do about telling other people in the process.
All right.
Let's close out with one more song. What would you like to finish with?
Well, you mentioned summer, so I'm going to do a song called Summer Love.
All right. Sounds good. Al Bettis is my guest today on Acoustic Alternatives.
This song is obviously is a song written. It's really about, like, starting a new relationship is always awesome. But, you got the butterflies, you got all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But starting one like in that springtime, and that you're already feeling euphoria over the weather. So this is called Summer Love. There's no better way. To waste a day than in each other's arms, our hideaway. We'll get lost in each other. Nothing else even matters. No. And oh yeah. And you're my summer love, summer love. Please, one more lazy day for you and me, soaking in those warm rays, and feel the breeze, sunrise to sunset. Oh no, holding hands, discussing how we first met, and oh yeah, and you're my summer love, yeah, my summer love, my summer love, yeah, summer love, my summer love.
Beautiful voice of Al Bettis on Acoustic Alternatives. Summer Love can be found on the Listening Sessions, the EP that's available, albettismusic.com, digitally available, physically available. I don't know how many copies are left in the world, but I'm glad I have one.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we had a chance to finally meet in person, Al. It's really good to see
really
your
cool.
face and your eyes and hear your voice singing just this many feet away from me.
Yep.
I think that gift that you've been given is going to last you a while. And I hope that you can parlay it into some more really great stories and opportunities like we talked about today.
Yeah, I really hope so too.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for being part of Acoustic Alternatives. Next week's planned guest is Jason Singer of Michigander, so make sure you keep an eye out for that one.